a very critical agency of government. But before we invite the Attorney General to the podium, we'd like to make the following remarks on behalf of the government of Liberia. The government of Liberia wishes to clarify that it does not hold any special interest in former President George Weah, nor does his opinion carry extra weight regarding government invitation to him to join a host of other permanent Liberians in supporting Liberia's bid for a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council. It has been brought to our attention that some media outlets are reporting that the government has solicited former President Weah's assistance in our campaign for a UN Security Council seat. Notably, some of the papers that have decided to publish these erroneous headlines include the Front Page Africa, which headline states, "Seeking Weah's help, government implores ex-President Weah to join campaign for a non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council." While the Liberian investigator also reported erroneously, Foreign Affairs Minister requests ex-President Weah's help for UN Security Council seats. We'd like to categorically state as a government that these headlines misrepresent the actual situation. It is no secret that the government, through the Minister of Foreign Affairs, has reached out to permanent Liberians from various sectors, inviting them to support Liberia's bid for a non-permanent Security Council seat at the United Nations. We have requested these individuals to create a brief video message endorsing Liberia's candidacy. Alongside former President Weah, the government has invited former President Sally, who is of an even greater stature as a two-term president, Nobel laureate, and recipient of the Mo Ibrahim Award for Excellence in African Leadership. In contrast, President Weah served one term and has not received the Mo Ibrahim Award nor the Nobel Peace Prize. We have asked former President Salih to produce the same 1-minute video that we requested from former President Weah. We question why media outlets have chosen to focus solely on former President Weah's involvement, neglecting to highlight that we are also seeking the support from former President Salih does not reflect a particular bias in the media. Why is it wanted to report on our outreach to former President Weah, yet not on our invitation to the two-term former President Salih? In addition to former President Weah and Salih, the government has also reached out to Nobel laureate Lyman Bowie, Speaker of the House of Representatives James Coker, President pro tempore of the Liberian Senate, Senator Yombi Kanga Lawrence, and other leaders in the Legislative Committee on Foreign Affairs and Security. We have similarly contacted long-term Liberian diplomat, Ambassador George Wallace, and former Foreign Minister Olubanji King Akiwili, among others, to lend their voices to our campaign. It is misleading to suggest that we have singled out former President Weah for this endeavor. Every voice matters equally, and no single individual carries more influence than the other in this context. Liberia last held a seat on the United Nations Security Council over 60 years ago. President WATCH and the government view this bid as timely and essential. We are determined to pursue it despite any political maneuvering. On that note, we like to also speak that Honorable Augustine Gafuan has assumed the role of Minister of Financial Development Planning. Before that, President Bwaga expressed his satisfaction that the former Minister of Finance, who recently served as country manager for the African Development Bank in Uganda, has accepted the nomination for this key position. A vibrant ceremony was held at the ministry to welcome Minister Gafuan, where he received a warm reception from staff who know him well. In his inaugural remarks, Minister Gafuan emphasized the necessity for swift government processes, acknowledging the public importance and the need to avoid delays. He urged his colleagues at the ministry to prepare for a rapid pace of work, stating the train is moving fast. At MICAT, we extend our best wishes to Minister Augustine Gafuan and his team, confident in their ability to fulfill the President's mandate and meet the expectations of the Liberian people. We'd like to congratulate Honorable Gafuan on his new role as Minister of Finance and Development Planning of the Republic of Liberia. Welcome on board. On that note, let me now welcome to the podium the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia for his remarks.
Members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm here today to address you and briefly speak about the situation involving in the Western Cluster Limited. As you may recall, in August 2011, the government of Liberia and Western Cluster Limited signed a mineral development agreement for the exploration and mining of iron ore in the Western Cluster iron ore deposit of Liberia. In April 2022, the government of Liberia and Western Cluster executed an MOU for a road user permit to be issued by the Ministry of Public Works to allow Western Cluster to transport this road via the Bami-Moruta Highway for 3 years. The road user permit was issued to the Western Cluster in June 2022 and is due to expire on July 24th, 2025. At which time it is expected that Western Cluster should have completed a railroad to transport this road. On May 3rd, 2024, the Ministry of Public Works suspended Western Cluster road user permit because of violation. Each violation included the following: hauling of iron ore beyond the 30 tons load limit and hauling of ore throughout the day and night, contrary to the time provided for in the road user permit. Failure to erect and install a weight bridge at Clay Junction. Failure to effectively and efficiently carry out the maintenance and repair of the Tottenham Barrett to Freeport Road corridor. On June 5th, 2024, following series of engagements with Western Cluster, the suspended road user permit was reinstated under the following conditions and understanding. One, the Western Cluster will widen the road corridor. The Western Cluster will ensure that each truck load will not exceed 30 tons load limit, and the haulage time will be from 7 p.m. to 6 p.m. daily, 6 a.m. daily. The Western Cluster will erect and install a weight bridge at a specific point on the road corridor within 3 months after the reinstatement of the road use permit. The loaded trucks will use the railway bridge parallel to the St. Paul Bridge instead of the St. Paul Bridge itself. The Western Cluster will place on each truck a hotline for the public to report reckless driving. On July 12, 2024, the road user permit was again suspended by the Ministry of Public Works for the expiration of Western Cluster's environmental permit for over 30 days before renewal, which is a violation of the Environmental Protection Management Law. Subsequently, on August 27, 2024, the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, issued Western Cluster a temporary permit for 3 months. On Saturday, September 14, 2024, in compliance with a presidential mandate, I, as Minister of Justice, accompanied by the Deputy Minister for Operations of the Ministry of Mines and Energy, Honorable William Haynes, and Assistant Minister of Public Works, Honorable Sondata S. Lucimana, led the team on an inspection tour of the road corridor from St. Paul Bridge, Virginia, to Tottenham, Montgomery County. The primary objectives of the inspection were: 1, to assess the current condition of the road from St. Paul Bridge to Tottenham and observe maintenance works carried out by Western Cluster. 2, to evaluate the state of the bridge parallel to the St. Paul Bridge, which Western Cluster has been instructed to repair, maintain, and utilize for its operations to avoid and prevent damage to the St. Paul Bridge. 3, to review interventions such as patching, shoulder clearing, drainages, and culverts installation along the corridor. 4, to gather information on Western Cluster's bypass route, weight bridge facilities, and future rehabilitation plans. The inspection reviewed that indeed Western Cluster has done some repair and maintenance work on the road corridor. These include the following: Western Cluster has hired a contractor to continuously repair and maintain the corridor. The contractor informed the team that he has a detailed maintenance plan which he will be submitting to the Ministry of Public Works this week. Western Cluster has almost through the contractor completely fixed the old bridge parallel to the St. Paul Bridge for use by its trucks. Only the tying that is absorbed and finishing is yet to be done, which will be done during the dry season. However, he is present condition that bridge can be used by trucks. The contractor has executed repair and maintenance work along the road corridor, repairing seriously damaged portions of the road corridor at various sections, including the old mobile compound in Virginia, and just before the overpass in Hotel Africa, they are constructed drainages along this corridor. Did some repair work around Akiri Bishop, a VOA Jatono Town intersection, around Kaiser Memorial Lawn Cemetery, and at Roseville intersection. They are installed covers at Plumcourt, just before Ricks Institute Junction, and at Saston. It is also undertaking shoulder clearing works at several locations. Potholes along the corridor were being filled with contract as a temporary solution. Use of a bypass route from the mines to clay to avoid the trucks traveling through densely populated areas. It has confirmed that the construction of the weight bridge and Hood Road has been contracted for. In addition, Western Cluster has committed to the following: 1, to be in full compliance with the environmental laws of Liberia by obtaining full environmental permits for its operations. 2, to ensure that all ores are transported between 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. daily. To adhere to the approved traffic management plan. To continuously repair and maintain the road. 5, to engage the Ministries of Public Works and Transport and in collaboration with them carry out a joint public and road safety awareness along the corridor. 6, to undertake the erection installation of a weigh station at Pool River Bridge at a point to be agreed upon between the Ministry of Public Works and Western Cluster, which is to be completed and commissioned by November 2024. 7, to ensure that all activities and assessments on the repair of the parallel bridge to the Seaport Bridge are being conducted, and that only the actual and finishing will be left to be done during the dry season. To commence the development of alternative haulage road through Manor Plantation, to connect with a jetty to be constructed, from which the oil will be shipped, with feasibility study ongoing to be completed within 6 weeks. Therefore, predicating the issue of the temporary environmental permit by the EPA, as well as the report of the investigation of the road corridor and repairs and maintenance of the road corridor, presently being undertaken by Western Cluster, along with Western Cluster's agreement to confirm the terms of the road use permit in the MDA, and its engagement of a contractor for the continuous maintenance and repair of the road, the government of Liberia hereby reinstates Western Cluster's road use permit. The government wants to unequivocally state that it will not hesitate to revoke the road use permit if the Western Cluster fails to honor its commitments and the provisions of the road use permit in the MDA. However, before I conclude, I would like to state this. We want to note that that particular road has reached its design lifespan and is no longer maintainable through patching. Given the current end of the design lifespan nature of the road itself, coupled with the exacerbating impact of our rainy season, it requires significant maintenance of full rehabilitation to accommodate the increasing traffic in the heavy road transported by Western Cluster. I thank you all. Wish you all good and well.
Okay, so you will reserve your questions for the Attorney General. We'll invite Mr. Morales to the podium. He will make a presentation, and then we'll take a question and make a move into answer.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Members of the press, I would like to thank the Ministry of Information and Tourism for this opportunity to appear here at this very important press briefing. The Independent Information Commission, as you may be aware, was established 14 years ago. And so yesterday, September 16th, was the day the FOR law was signed and approved. So we celebrated 14 years of existence yesterday. Freedom of information is a fundamental right of all persons, regardless of your gender, your race, or your religion. Access to information is a right under Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Chapter 9 of the African Charter on Human Rights and People's Rights, and of course, Article 15C of the 1986 Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, which states that in pursuance of this right, there shall be no limitation on the right of the public to be informed about the government and its functionaries. Access to information is immensely beneficial to the population of any country. It helps ensure that people can be more fully participate in public life. It helps to prioritize government spending and helps citizens to understand decision-taking in their name and empower them to hold their government accountable. It also helps citizens to be more involved in setting development agenda for the communities and country. The FOR Act gives right to the public to request, review, receive, reproduce, and retain records and documents held by government institutions, and private entities performing public functions or receiving public funding. By this, any member of the public has the right under the FOI law to know about the government. A wide array of information can be requested and received under the Act, and there are obligations on the part of government institutions to provide information to the public about their workings. The Independent Information Commission is close with the authority to ensure the implementation of the FOI law of 2010. To execute the core functions of the Commission, the Independent Information Commission provides oversight to the Technical Secretariat to ensure all government institutions and private institutions receiving public fundings or performing public services can comply with the Act. To be in full compliance, all heads of ministry and agencies, public corporations and commissions are supposed to do the following. 1. Appoint or designate one staff to serve as public information officer as enshrined in Chapter 3 and Section 3.6 of the FOI Act. The overall responsibility of this is to receive requests for information held by authorities or entities and coordinate responses of the authority or entity to all requests for information. Number 2, establish an internal information request review body as required under Chapter 6, Section 6.2 of the FOI law. The review body is essential in the first step or the mechanism through which requester of information will receive negative decisions or action regarding the request for information, or will believe that the transfer of his or her request or the fees charged by the ministry, agency, or private entity are inconsistent with the FOI law. They can see redress through the review body. Number 3, ministry and agencies are supposed to establish and maintain a regularly updated and widely user-friendly publication scheme, that is website or social media online, as mandated in Chapter 2, Section 2.1 of the FOI Act. The FOI law requires all government institutions to provide detailed information regarding their core functions, nature of their activities and operations, and the information they possess. When this is done, it will address the aspect of the FOI law that calls for automatic publication or proactive disclosure of information, which will alleviate the burden on public information officers of the time-consuming and costly search for documents to satisfy the public request for information. And number 4, each ministry and agency is required under the Act to submit activities report annually to the Information Commission as indicated in Chapter 5, Section 5.3 of the FOI Act. The annual report from government ministry and agencies are key to the implementation of the FOI law in general, because the compilation of these reports shows the total number of requests for access to information filed by the public and processed, the number of requests pending before government institutions and private bodies, the number of requests for information that were denied, the average number of days taken for processing of different types of requests for information, and the total amount charged for the processing of requests for information. These are vital information needed by the Information Commission to inform the Information Commissioner's status of the implementation report to the legislature, as required in Chapter 5, Section 5.4 of the FOI law. When we took over at the Independent Information Commission, we met an institution that plagued, like all other many of government institutions, with challenges, and those were difficulties that impeded the implementation of the FOI law. Particularly among them was the low budgetary support received by the Commission from 2018 to 2023, which strangulated the Commission, making it impossible for us to do public awareness, which is very key in creating awareness around the country and empowering citizens with the information they need to follow the necessary procedure to request information. Upon taking over, we signed an MOU with the Center for Media Studies and Peace Building to benefit from the UC Media Activity Project that is being implemented by Internews. And that MOU will benefit the Information Commission in the several ways. One, we will develop a functional website and social media platform for sharing of information of the Commission. We'll also develop a new 5-year strategic plan that will tell where we are and where we want to go as a Commission. And we will also reactivate and relaunch the FOI Hub in the 15 counties. That is part of the decentralization of the Commission so that people in the counties too can be able to use the FOI law when they need information from local government authorities. Finally, the Commission has been involved in preparatory activities leading to the celebration of the International Day of Universal Access to Information, which is an international obligation to raise awareness on access to information globally. The IRC will commence celebratory activities marking the International Day of Access to Information on Tuesday, October 1, 2024, with Freedom of Information Awareness campaign featuring radio appearances, public engagements, highlighting the value of access to information and the public rights under the FOI law. On Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024 at 10 a.m., an official program will be held in the ballroom of the Monrovia City Hall, climaxing the celebration. During this program, His Excellency Joseph Yuman Boaga, President of the Republic of Liberia, is expected to officially launch the FOI hubs that will be set up in the 15 counties. These hubs, like I mentioned earlier, are mechanisms through which the Commission will have its presence in the counties for the purpose of citizens utilizing the law, compliance purposes, and monitoring and evaluation purposes of how the law is being implemented. We call on media institutions, civil society organizations, the general public to join us on October 2nd, 2024, as we will celebrate the International Right to Know Day. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Please come in the queue. Please ask your question based upon the subject.
Thank you so much, Minister, for coming. Thank you so much, Minister, for coming. My name is Stroke Plummer, and I report for Spoon FM, the Spoon Network. Aside from lifting and revoking the permit of Western clusters, what else the government can do to curtail the violations of the law by this company? Because over the years, the coming into being of this company has been controversial, and even up to now, they continuously violate the laws of the country. Is there anything else that the government can do to prevent this? That's one. And to Minister Daniel Sanu, he did say that the government wrote a couple of people, including the former president. And the communication that is circulating on social media says that you are seeking help. How is it a crime that a newspaper reads and say that the government is seeking help from the former president, George Weah, because the communication is clear that he's seeking help from a couple of people, including him. So I heard you saying that not only the former president, you wrote a couple of people. So I just want you to explain that, because the communication is clear that he's seeking help.
Thank you. My name is Emmanuel Mukulu and I go for Sky FM. So my question goes to Minister Simon in direction with the same communication. In the midst of many leaders, the newspaper is saying that you're seeking help from the former president and you were troubled. So is it like you no longer need the help from the ex-president because of the publication? Thank you.
So my name is James Mbala and I report for Red Water Authority in Liberia County. Our Minister of Justice, I heard you speaking about the issue of arresting President Mr. Panic. China Union also is troubling us in Liberia County, from the fire zone to Kakata to border route. The violations in regard to the trucks moving at daylight is troubling, and as we speak now, the road from Firestone to go to Kakata is no longer viable. I used to see measures taking the people to go and check on China Union in regard to these violations. And again, you spoke out, sorry, if you not be in the topic, in recent times there was jailbroken Kakata, and there was jailbroken Kakata, and you are a justice minister, you have spoken here. I didn't get you mentioning issues that have to do with jailbroken, how far the inmates, those who escaped the jail house, how far they are, and the issue of the global news to scout, be free. Is it that the Liberian government now will never on the case, or we are going to pursue the case in making sure that the perpetrators of the morality, Italian news to scout, is brought to justice? And information. Hey, you spoke, thank you so much. What are some of the materials in regard to soliciting information from the public area? Because sometimes we find it very difficult as journalists to get these people from the information we need from them. What are some of the processes? On this note of the question, we'll close on the question and answer question.
No question?
Yes, I mean,
You can take the last question.
nobody in the queue.
Okay, so the minister will respond to the question.
Nobody in the queue.
I've been given the privilege to respond to the question. On the question of why is the government to complete violation of the laws for arresting persons. You have to understand that Western Coast has a concession agreement with the government. In addition, execute an MOU. The government is a government of law. We have a Bureau of Concession and other agencies of government that regularly monitor and happenings at concession areas. So if there is any violation of the law and the government have evidence of that, the government will take the necessary steps like using concession here. In regards to China Union, thanks for bringing it to our attention. We will inform the relevant agency, and they too will go and see what can be done to inspect the route China Union is taking, and then deterioration of the road condition, the use of the trucks and things, the appropriate actions will be taken. Thank you for bringing our attention. Yes, there was a jailbreak at Kakata for the 7 inmates escape. We have constituted a joint security team that is going around and hunting, looking around for the inmates to rearrest them. So far, about 10 have been arrested. We have their names, pictures have been posted at relevant places. I think as we get additional information, we will inform you. On the issue of the Gloria Mususka case, she was acquitted by the Supreme Court, and the Ministry of Justice, the prosecution arm, to the office of the SG, is looking, reviewing the whole case file, and see what can be done again, because we all must be aware that murder was committed. We have to try to find out who committed the murder. So the Ministry of Justice is looking into that, looking for the evidence, see if there are any additional leads that you can follow to see who committed the crime, so that person can be arrested, indicted, and prosecuted. Thank you.
So, regarding how information can be requested, the process is simple. Once you want information, you firstly have to know what information it is and which institution that information resides. Once you identify that, you have to write a formal request. You either write the formal request or you can record your voice, you can submit a recording, or you can even go to the institution and you can make a verbal request. But that request should contain the information that you need clearly. If it is the entity's budget or a particular contract or a particular salary of an official, you have to be clear on what information you want. Once you submit that request, there's somebody there who will call the public information officer who will receive that request from you, and that person has, or the entity has, a period of 30 days to respond to your request. That is what the law says. So in a period of 30 days, you will wait, and that entity will respond to you, either positively or negatively. When they respond to you positively, it means they will give you the information that you requested. If they responded to you negatively, it means they deny your request. But that denial must be justifiable. They can't just say we don't have that information. They should tell you why they don't have the information. Possibly that information is not with them. So they will transfer your request to the institution, the thing that has the information. Once they can tell you that the information is not here, but we are referring to this institution, then you have to go there. If they deny you, there are certain information that are on the exempt category in the law. Information on national security, information on international relations, trade secret, and a couple of other information that are protected under the law. But they should also tell you that this information that you need is a national security information. It cannot be disclosed for XYZ reason. That should be a justifiable reason why they can't give you the information. If you feel that your request was not addressed or unduly denied, then you can come to the Information Commission for redress. When you come there, we will call the two parties, we will call you, we will call the entity, and the entity will explain why they deny you. If they are justifiable reason why they deny you, we will come up with a decision to tell you that that decision or the response for the entity was correct. If they deny you incorrectly, we will tell them to ensure that they provide that information. If they refuse to provide information, we will take the matter to the civil law court. According to the law, in the civil law code, we compel them to provide the information. If it is in the county, the circuit code will compel them to provide the information. So that's the entire process of requesting of information, complaint, response, and redress. Thank you so much.
So there are two concerns, there are two questions that are relatively similar. And Chopin on Spoon FM is asking what is a crime for the government to solicit the help of former President Weah, and the other country asks as to whether GOL does not need any help from President Weah. We sort of decided to talk about this because one, the story is not based on the whole truth. I can't teach a journalist how to do a job, but you know very well that your reportage should be credible, balanced, and accurate. When a particular news outlet neglects to highlight in a story is published that the government has also or is also seeking the help or the intervention or support from other permanent Liberians and solely decide to focus its highlight or headlines that the government is seeking help from President Weah to get a position, then it connotes a whole different message, which necessitates our response. Because why single out one person? Why not say that the government of Liberia have reached out to permanent Liberians to produce a 1-minute video to support the drive to get the non-permanent seat at the Security Council? So it connotes a totally different message that does not reflect the motive of the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And that's why we say it's important, because somebody who is reading that headline, outside of Liberia, who is not, following currently the Ministry of Information Press briefing, will assume that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs only wrote President Weah. Did the story go on to say that other permanent Liberians were written? Did it say so? You don't see how like that. So the negative connotation that is embedded within the story necessitates a response from the government. Why was it newsworthy to only report that the government had reached out to President Weah? And I also highlight that the Speaker of the Legislature, the former Nobel laureate, Liman Bowie, a peace icon, the President pro tempore of the Senate, Olubangi King Akiwiri, all these permanent Liberians have been written, and we are seeking their endorsement. So it is not any specific favor, because even among the list of people that we name, the stature of President Sadi far surpasses that of Mr. Weah. So, if the people are saying, oh, the government had brought seek the support of one president, they can understand why. But to say that, oh, the government seeking President Weah help, is he the only person on the list? No, we can't do that. And we will consistently remind our media colleagues that the democracy cannot thrive in the face of misinformation. The people who read are people. If the purpose of the publication of any particular news daily is to sensationalize headlines, then we have to rethink. But people need to know the truth, the whole truth. Just publish a list. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is big, it has a website. They have a public relations officer. Do you reach out to the bottom of the story? Or you are simply publishing the story for political reasons? So we cannot go back whenever misleading information, is being spread against the government. So we don't want to be combative. We hold nothing against one President Weah. We hold nothing against the Front Page Africa and the Liberian investigator. We just talk to set the record straight. That the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Liberia needs a seat. We want to build the reputation of our country. 60 years ago, we were there. 60 years after we're fighting to get our seat. And we expect that every Liberian, whether you are a journalist, you are a civil society activist, you have to support that effort. As opposed to you being unnecessarily political about it, and you publish a headline to make it to seem like a president, we have to produce a video like we don't get a seat. That is absolutely wrong. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, colleagues, thank you, Mr. Sano. Thank you.
So, folks, I'd like to say thanks so kindly for watching. Thanks for being with us. This is online television.
We're going to close here for today. We'll see you on Thursday.
I'd like to wish all of the best do join us on Thursday for another edition of the MICAT regular press briefing here at the Ministry of Culture, Affairs and Tourism. My name is Wyatt, and we're bidding you a pleasant May 2.